Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Thrive. My name is Nick Way, Senior Director of Brand Marketing with Home Helpers Home Care, and I'm very pleased to have Mandy Pavey join us, my friend and colleague. And welcome to Thrive, Mandy.
Thank you, Nick. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. So, getting started today, just wanted to spend some time getting to know you a little bit better about your franchise journey, as well as because of your experience in franchising, just, any pieces of advice you could share with folks as they're exploring both franchising as an opportunity, but also opening a business. So, starting out, can you share a little bit about your background and, a little bit about how you got into franchising?
Yeah, certainly. So I've been in franchising for 10 years. Prior to franchising, I was an executive assistant. So I was an executive assistant for the Area Agency on Aging here in Metro Atlanta.
Very cool, very cool. And when you first got into franchising, what were some of the things that maybe stood out or drew you toward the industry?
Towards franchising in general,
Yeah,
um, helping folks become their own boss. I mean, that's really, I guess, what was the first draw.
very cool. Well, it can be such a powerful path for entrepreneurs. And it's one of the things that I know at Home Helpers that we do is, we guide people through a discovery process because franchising is a great tool. It's not for everybody, you know, but as you go through that journey with your candidates that you're guiding through that discovery process, what part of the journey resonates with you most personally?
I tell all of my candidates that to me, one of the most crucial parts is when they get to do validation calls with existing franchise owners. I love sharing the process with them, sharing the business model, sharing how wonderful franchising can be, and just listening to what their goals are. But I tell them that you just can't replace talking to somebody that's doing it day in and day out.
Absolutely. And I think that's one thing, we talk a lot about in franchising about the support systems that the franchisor offers and how important it is that that's in alignment with what you're after as a potential, looking into opening a business. One thing that's not always talked about is when there's a strong network of franchisees and how valuable that becomes too. You can
Right.
grow within the business, both initially when you're starting the business, but also as you continue your growth, that sharing of experience is invaluable. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, very much so. Seeing the franchisees at the national conference, seeing them interact with each other and either meeting each other for the first time, maybe they've talked on the phone or they've known each other for years, but just watching them interact with each other, I think it's just amazing.
Absolutely. So, what are some of the key supports that make a franchisee's early years easier? Folks looking at franchising, rightfully so, they say, okay, is this really going to help me start my business? And what are some of the value adds of franchising in general? And, what you've seen it with Home Helpers and other brands you worked with that really help franchisees in those early stages?
First of all, having that business model that is already set up, it's there for you. You're not reinventing the wheel. I'm sure they've all heard that. We've all heard it, but it's the truth. You're not having to reinvent the wheel. So the model is there for you, plus the fact that you have the support from the operations team. They are there. They're a sounding board for you. They are guiding you in that process. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
crucial.
It is. It's you're, with franchising, I've heard it said you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. And
Amen.
that's an important part of franchising. So I know that home care has not been the only industry, that you've worked in as far as franchising. Uh, Once you were in home care, what are some of the things that stand out to you as far as the uniqueness of the industry, or maybe what's special about it if you're looking to open a business?
The fact that you are providing such an important, crucial service to families. So 3 years ago, when my late father now became ill, and my sisters and I were faced with honoring him wanting to remain independent. He lived by himself. All three of us were at least 45 minutes, if not further, away from him. He wanted to stay independent. He didn't want to move in with any of us. So knowing that we were able to do that, because there was a lady that was able to be there and help him. So knowing in this type of industry that you're providing that service and that comfort to a family, that is so important.
You made me think, I think all of us will be touched by this industry, whether individually or from somebody that we've cared about. I've been through it in my family too. And, another thing I've always heard, it's true too, is home care is one of those things, we don't go out and say, it's Friday evening, can't wait to go out and look at home care, like a restaurant, with the family. But it's it's something you don't care about until it's the most important thing in your family's life.
Right,
And then it's like help. And
right.
it really is that need-based industry. Appreciate that. As you look back on your journey in franchising, what are some of the things that you're most proud of? And what excites you most about the future of franchising?
Franchising is an industry that is booming, especially in the home care sector. It is something that is needed, that is going to continue to grow and be needed. Franchising also, whether it's home care or another sector in it, it allows you to be your own boss. It allows you to determine what legacy you're leaving to your family. You're the captain of your ship, right? Of your destiny. So I think franchising is exciting in that respect, maybe challenging as well, but exciting nonetheless.
Well, thank you for that. As we start to wrap up, what advice would you as a professional, you're a certified franchise executive, you have all this experience. What what are some tidbits that maybe you could share with our listeners who, whether they're at the beginning stages of looking into opening their own business, they've had the goal and the dream, but they're like, can I really do this? They're at that stage, or maybe they're a little bit later on. But what would you share with folks that are looking into leaving their job, opening their own business, or looking into franchising?
Definitely researching on your own, um, having the conversations with the development team, talking to them about the industry, about the FDD, the franchise disclosure document. It's not an exciting document. Nobody ever says that it is, and it's not. But I also tell folks it has wonderful information in it, wonderful guide for you. Definitely, I definitely review it. Definitely, if you're going to have outside counsel review it, someone that's familiar with franchising, I think that's very key. Don't just have any attorney review it. Have someone that's familiar with franchising. I think that's probably my number one advice to someone looking into this. Review the FDD. Make sure that you have reviewed the franchise agreement. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions.
Well, and we talk about this, at Home Helpers, we award franchises, meaning, it has to be a good match. And it's okay to say that, franchising isn't for everyone.
Correct.
And it's also worth saying that no one is saying that you can't open a business without franchising and be successful. This is an avenue that works for folks if it's a good match. And again, as we wrap up, I think that it's worth noting to our listeners that this is a mutual discovery process, and it really is worth, in my opinion, 30 minutes of your time if you're interested in learning more about even if you don't know that you really are going the home care industry route. I know, correct me if I'm wrong, Mandy, you'd be happy to speak and give some coaching to folks just about franchising in general, and then see if home care with Home Helpers is a good fit.
Absolutely. I do that a lot of times on my conversations with folks. I find myself talking to them, of course, initially about home helpers, but at some point it just never fails. Almost every conversation I say, with franchising in general, I'm going to suggest,
Yeah,
no matter if it's a coffee franchise or a home helpers franchise, you need to make sure that you are talking to existing owners, that you are reviewing the FDD, that you're asking questions.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that's so special about Home Helpers is we are such a leader in the industry. We've been around for over 27 years, and it really is, we're really about finding good matches. And so, again, Mandy, I want to thank you for your time. And if I may, I'd like to give folks your contact information. So if they have some questions, they can call and see if Home Helpers and franchising is the right fit for them.
Yes, please do. I would love to talk to anyone that has questions on it.
Well, appreciate that. So everyone, Mandy can be reached. Her email is mpavey, Pavey, at homehelpershomecare.com. I'll say that again real quick. mpavey, Pavey, at homehelpershomecare.com. And she has also graciously provided her direct line. So if you want to schedule time, a 30-minute conversation, again, to explore the business opportunity with Home Helpers, that number is 513 let me restart. 513-833-7366. Did I get it right?
You did. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll say that again for everyone if you need a pen. 513-5. Why do I say 5? 513-833-7366. So Mandy, I've enjoyed our conversation. You're a great colleague. We have a great time together. And I know that anyone who connects with you is going to just get some great information. So thank you for your time today and being a part of Thrive.
Thank you so much.